we wanna sit here and just be Debbie Downers all the time as a fan base, and
Yep.
the standard is the standard, dude. You just don't get to the standard by waking up and deciding we're gonna get to the standard. You got to build that shit, bro. And
Right.
people need to chill and be patient because the football shit is not like a phone where you can just swipe and get exactly what you want in the click of a button. That shit takes time, bro. And very rarely do you see those mercenary teams like Ole Miss last year. Mercenary team went hard in the portal, didn't even make the playoffs. Right?
Yeah.
Trust. You got to
Uh,
trust. You got to have trust that BV and Jim Nagy and Joe C and the staff up there at Oklahoma is smarter than we are.
mhm.
You just got to trust that, and you got to know that too. Like you got to know that. You got to know that they're smarter at this shit than we are.
Here's and I'm listen. There's not a single thing you just said that I disagree with. I welcome back to Hall of Fame College Football. I'm your host Jason Watkins, and if you love college football, their schedule, so they still have an opportunity to get there. The main thing is that this is an opportunity for the pecking order right now with the SEC, especially for all these people that have at all these other fan bases that say Oklahoma sucks. Go and win these next two games and see what they say then. You know what I mean? You're not going to be able to talk a lot of shit whether you're a pollster, a media member, or just a fan that runs your mouth on Twitter. Not going to be able to say a whole lot if Oklahoma and this defense is able to shut down the top two offenses probably in the country in the next 2 weeks. If you do that, I want to know who believes that they can beat you at all, because I think it's going to be tough. I think it's going to be tough. Um, that's just my feeling on it. You know what I mean? I think that
Yeah.
Oklahoma has everything in front of it and every opportunity to prove itself moving forward. Something I do want to ask you though, and I know that I know where you stand on this. I know where you stand on it coming into the season, and that the 8-win mandate or whatever for Brent Venables wasn't necessarily real. I think it was more real than I originally thought it was. I was once they talked about Joe C was announced that he was retiring. I felt like it was definitely more real. I'm kind of wondering if at this point the expectation. I mean, I think you probably need to not completely come apart over these last 5 games or whatever. But I do think that BV's getting closer to being safe.
Oh, BV Vince. Like
I
so there was word like Michigan after Michigan,
mhm.
you heard less and less, right? After Auburn, you didn't hear shit. And then it creeped in a little bit again after Texas.
Not a little bit, a lot of it,
Yeah.
a
I
lot of
mean,
it.
but I don't think it was as prevalent, right, as it was. But I mean,
I'm
dude,
listening. I'm listening.
like you have to really think about what happens if you decide to get rid of Brent Venables.
This is where I
And
was about to go with it.
if
Continue
you
with this
really
because I want to bring this up.
if you write that shit down on a board of all the bad things that will happen, all the pros and cons, right? You write that stuff down, right? A lot of us are visual. We got to see it. It doesn't make a lick of sense at all. It doesn't make a lick of sense. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's year 4. Guess what, man? Look
Absolutely,
at
I
where
know
we're
what you
at in
mean.
year 4. It's starting to pop. And you want to cut bait right now with one of the best defenses in the nation, if not the best defense in the nation, and an offense that's putting up points. And we wanna sit here and just be Debbie Downers all the time as a fan base. And
Yo,
the standard is the standard, dude. You just don't get to the standard by waking up and deciding we're gonna get to the standard. You got to build that shit, bro. And
right.
people need to chill and be patient because the football shit is not like a phone where you can just swipe and get exactly what you want in the click of a button. That shit takes time, bro. And very rarely do you see those mercenary teams like Ole Miss last year. Mercenary team went hard in the portal, didn't even make the playoffs. Right?
Yeah.
Trust. You got to
Yeah.
trust. You got to have trust that BV and Jim Nagy and Joe C and the staff up there at Oklahoma is smarter than we are.
Mm-hmm.
You just got to trust that, and you got to know that too. Like you got to know that. You got to know that they're smarter at this shit than we are.
Here's and I'm listen. There's not a single thing you just said that I disagree with. The one thing I would say is I think that the fact that you've lost 3 out of 4 to Texas is significant
That
because
doesn't
of
look good.
no, it doesn't, and because of the fact, especially when you had won what 6 out of 7 leading up to that, right?
Yeah.
You won 6 out of 7 leading up to that. My deal is, but I am in agreement with you, and particularly in view of the fact that you got to think about this. You've got multiple coaches in the SEC on the hot seat, and around the country for that matter. We were talking about Mike Norvell just now. He may be safe. He may not be. I don't know that he's safe. I think that you can't lose to Stanford and be safe, right? But the money may be a deciding factor there. Maybe he hangs around another year. But South Carolina, who's to say what's about to happen with that, right? Shane Beamer is not making people happy right now. I think it's clear that Hugh is out. I think it's obviously they've already fired Napier and they've already fired Pittman as well. And you're looking at a situation where you can see some upheaval around the SEC more than you already will. You're definitely going to have 3 guys out at minimum. To me, I feel like it's kind of silly to do it. Right now, you have an opportunity that if you can't see where the next step is for Oklahoma, and this is where I'm totally in agreement with you, is this defense is legitimately a championship caliber defense, right? Is the offense a championship caliber offense? Maybe, maybe not. I think healthy wise, they're growing into something that you might like. But here's the deal: if Alabama, never mind, not Alabama, but Auburn. Forget about them though. Florida they just fired Billy Napier. That means that you've got Dallas Wilson that can go into the portal for the next 30 days. This dude's a straight up stud. There's guys, SEC caliber football players are all over the SEC, and you're probably going to have, and again, you're going to have at minimum 3 full teams that are going to be able to get picked through. And if somebody like Drink ends up getting the job at Florida, there's a 4th one, right? Or if Lane Kiffin does decide to choose to go to Florida, there's your 4th one. Then somebody's going to have to take that job. What about Brian Kelly? He may be in trouble too. So there's another one that you could have as many as 5, and 5 that get fired, not to mention the ones that end up swapping jobs or something like that, which is a possibility, I would think, right? It's definitely a possibility. So at this time, to me, it feels like it'd be smarter to stand pat, have some continuity, if you want to make some position. Hey, Jason Watkins here with Hall of Fame College Football. And if you are ready to back your favorite team, the Sooners, and fade that Texas hype train every Saturday this fall, there's only one place to do it: MyBookie. Right now, you can double your first deposit up to $1,000 when you sign up at hofmedia.us/mybookie1000. That's hofmedia.us/mybookie1000. Yep, 100% deposit bonus, and it takes less than 5 minutes to get started. Whether you're betting college football, rolling the dice in the online casino, or dropping a 10-leg parlay on SEC Chaos, MyBookie has everything you need. Bet anytime, anywhere, on the go, at the tailgate, or yelling at the refs from your couch. Just don't talk trash. Put your money where your mouth is. Hit that link, hofmedia.us/mybookie1000, and get your deposit bonus today. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie and Hall of Fame College Football. If you want to make some position coach changes or whatever, do that. You know what I mean? Let Ben Arbuckle bring in some guys that he wants to bring in if that's what you feel like needs to happen. Fine. But I think it probably, at this point, you've seen them go to 6-1. I would like to see them get to 8 and 9 wins just as much as anybody else would, and even 10 wins. But But you can't have it both ways and say that this is a gauntlet that not many people would get through with just 3 losses, and then say, but you have to keep your job. You don't get to do both. You don't get to do both. Now, I understand the part of it with the Texas loss when you should have probably won the game, and the idea that, look, this guy is we're struggling to see offense that we feel like as Oklahoma fans we're so used to seeing. I think that that's also a big part of what the hump people are getting over mentally. Who was it that just said you've got that? Oh, Sooner Ray said that he heard somebody as high up of a source as he knows that it's 9. I've heard these high up sources say it's 8, and I've heard them say it depends on how it goes and what the losses, who the losses are to, and how the rest of the season kind of pans out. I feel like we're starting to see less and less. I think if you win this weekend, you're probably not firing the guy at all. I can't even imagine that you would if you lost out even.
Who? Okay, like let's play the game, right? Let's play the game for all these
Yeah.
people. Who are you hiring?
That's a good question. Well, that's what I'm saying. That was the next part. I mean, all these coaches that are going to be out of a job, who's going to replace them? Okay, I think that there's a number of. I'm not one of these people that thinks you have to go after retreads. My first guy would probably be John Sumrall, right? I think he's already going to be up for a job. Oh, there's a number 6 with Stoops is probably out the door as well. We're talking about a lot of these, but there's a lot of programs that are going to need coaches. So now you're jockeying for position. I think that Oklahoma is going to take the pecking order over most of these teams, if not all these teams we've talked about, if they were to fire him. But here's the thing. You still get poached. You still lose. I mean, most of these kids, let me just ask you this. You guys are obviously dedicated to Brent Venables and what he's doing. Is it not likely, or at least, within the realm of possibility, that you guys would choose to go elsewhere?
No. I don't think
you wouldn't choose to go elsewhere?
I don't think so.
Okay.
It's not my choice. It's not my choice.
Well, I know it's not your choice, but I'm saying there wouldn't be the idea that maybe you go wherever he ends up being a DC at, because he's not going to not have a job for very long.
I don't know. I don't think so. That's just my initial thought and what I think and how I feel. I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I think that this is overblown. I don't think the athletic director is in charge of this anyway.
Dude, this is ridiculous. I mean, like I don't this talking about this just makes me like
cringy, right? It's cringy.
Yeah, it's cringy because we're so far away from that. Like this, but like we're so far away from that, and this is what I'm talking about. That negative aspect of the fan base that sucks you in sometimes.
Sure.
Like it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Right. Like BV, dude.
Well, we only got 20 minutes left, and I'm not going to spend it all on this. So I just wanted to say that the reason that I brought this up is because I feel like the further away that you're now at 6-1, right? You've already won as many games as you did last year. That to me, I feel like you're probably going to at worst split the next 2. I think you beat Mizzou. I think you have an opportunity. You probably beat LSU. I don't think LSU is very good. Right. And if I'm saying, I think that Alabama's the best team in the country right now. So I'm not going to pick you to beat Alabama necessarily, particularly going into Tuscaloosa. But that doesn't mean that I don't think that you could.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that I don't think that you could, because I do think that they could. To me, the feeling should be among this fan base is that Oklahoma can beat all of these teams.
Yeah.
Every one of these teams that are left on the schedule. So in my opinion, if you have that feeling, whatever the outcome may be, I don't think it's a fireable offense if you lose some of these games, right? I think you probably need to win at least one more to make sure that he stays. And probably if you get to the 8, it's silly talk, really. But I'm telling you that I think that more and more that I look at it, I think it would be crazy. And look, I got to tell you, I've been super critical of Brent Venables for the last few weeks over the handling of the material thing. I wasn't a fan of it, not been a fan of it, right?
Yeah.
But look, in the end, I can see the forest through the trees, though, ladies and gentlemen. We can see that this football team is on the level of being a real contender if they get over a couple of little humps. And like you said, just snapping your fingers and wanting that to happen is not really the way to go about it. It's not.
Yeah, it's
I'll give you the last word on this.
it's crazy, right? Like SEC Mike just posted a little graphic with all our wins and asked what our updated uh win total is, record. And to be honest with you, like 10-2 is like we're staring at 10-2 right in the face, homie. Like 10-2
Sure.
it is so doable. It's so doable. Just as the season plays out, right? Like before the season, I would be like, hey, 10-2 would be amazing, but very difficult, right? Not saying it can't be done. We just have to get a lot of breaks, stay healthy, da 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 da. But now, dude, as the season goes on, I'm looking at that schedule right there and how teams are in where they're at. You know what I mean? Like things change, right? It's fluid. And looking at it right now, like 10-2 is really doable. You know what I mean? Like 10-2 is
Sure,
really doable.
but I could also see it being 8-4, and that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad season.
No, not at all. Not at all. Not at all.
I think you would be disappointed in 7-5, but I also think, again, you can't talk out of both sides of your mouth and say that this is the toughest schedule in the country and then complain if you don't get what you want out of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Welcome back to Hall of Fame College Football.